All right, so this is a new update video. I made this video for the Autel support people. There's only so much I can tell you or tell them over the emails and illustrate over the emails. So this is kind of in lieu of a phone call, or just to be able to give you some more visuals, more details of what's happening and why I believe there's a hardware issue and it needs to be replaced. It's defective. So this is the startup procedure. It shows that the gimbal starts up, it initializes properly. These are a few photos I took that recreated how I unpacked the drone brand new, and what may be contributing to some of the issues here. You can see the gimbal is kind of crooked and jammed in underneath the gimbal cover. Not correct. It's not an issue, I don't think, for short term, but if it's packed like that for a long time and through shipping and handling it, it could cause an issue. Who knows with the motors? So here I am trying to move the gimbal wheel up and down to change the pitch, and it starts to move, and then it reaches a point, and it hits a point, and it resets, and it doesn't respond for another 10 or so seconds, and then it tries again, and it hits a point, and it resets itself. The update is I have noticed if it's tilted to the right, as if the aircraft was banking, if it's tilted to the right, it starts to respond. It levels off fairly well, and it actually compensates for the movement quite well. Normally I would say, but only if the aircraft is banking to the right, at least 30 degrees or so. As soon as the aircraft is leveled off or laid flat and is kind of left alone, the gimbal goes into a initialization loop and it doesn't respond. Here I'm turning the gimbal wheel, showing that it will turn. The pitch will change as long as I'm tilting the aircraft. Um, it pitches all the way up, and the gimbal readout on the app is correct for the most part. Um, I set the function button to change between 90 and 0 degrees. That works just fine. And as soon as you lay it flat, it doesn't respond to any controls anymore, and it goes into the initialization loop, and it twitches back and forth. And the self-checking prompt on the app kind of is perpetual. It doesn't go away at all. Tilting to the left, as if the aircraft was banking to the left, shows there's no response there. The gimbal is basically dead, and it stays in the initialization loop indefinitely when it's tilted to the left. I have no idea why. I think it's mechanical, but I'm willing to hear more from Autel support people and try what they want. It is the latest firmware, the latest app. Firmware didn't install properly on the first attempt. It installed, but it said it timed out. But because I have two extra batteries, the second and the third battery required the full firmware to be installed, and those installed successfully. So I don't see how that can be an issue right now. Again, it's only when it's banking to the left, not when it's banking to the right. Or sorry, I had that backwards. Here's just I was able to get it launched once because it doesn't launch if the gimbal is initializing. Here you can see banking to the left. The gimbal is basically unresponsive and it just flops around. Banking to the right here, you can see it's basically working as it should. So there's something that's not allowing the gimbal to compensate if the aircraft is banking to the left at all, or if the aircraft is flat even. If it's just hovering, the gimbal is dead essentially. It's not responsive. It flops around. Here I'm hoping to get the gimbal responding again by tilting it to the right. And here I'm trying to get the gimbal calibration started that way, and it does start successfully. It pitches down as I believe it should. It pitches up as I believe it should, and it goes into the roll. It rolls towards the the right of the video here, or the left of the craft, but it doesn't roll to the left. It doesn't continue. It reaches a point where it stops and then it restarts the roll calibration process. It must be mechanical. I can't see how this function or this operation would uh, abort and restart any other way. Um, but here we go. Um, the gimbal calibration percent readout, I don't know. It appears to be time based and not process based, because the progress of the gimbal calibration isn't progressing, but the calibration has. Actually, the screen recording of the phone shut off because the phone actually went to sleep because I was waiting for this to finish for so long. So it'll come back and it's still at 99%. I'll speed this up a little bit to kind of carry on a bit more, just to show that this does not stop. It just keeps trying to do the roll loop. Um, um, it doesn't stop. It hits that point of where it can't continue. I suppose I could nudge the gimbal to carry on um, rolling towards the left, um, but I don't want to tamper with the gimbal that way unless told to do so by Autel themselves. This behavior, again, this matches the behavior of when in the air. It cannot compensate when the aircraft is banking to the left. So there's something mechanically defective with the gimbal being able to rotate in the roll position that far. Here I'm just trying to exit out of the gimbal calibration process, but it appears that cannot be done. It goes back into the roll calibration step and it cannot proceed past that. There's no visible damage that I've seen on the gimbal itself through inspection, um, so it must be internal to the motor. They're delicate motors, but I haven't seen, there's nothing physically on the outside that looks like there was an impact. So that's about it for the update. In terms of the gimbal, I've heard back from Autel at least to tell me to reinstall the firmware, which if they want me to, I'll have to get a firmware package from them. Uh, what I'm showing now here is another issue I've found on this lovely defective unit here. The SD card, um, when trying to view the contents of the SD card, it crashes the app. I've tried 3 different SanDisk Extremes, 16, 32, 64, and they all do it. Formatted in the PC and formatted in the aircraft. It happens through the album link on the front main screen and the thumbnails in the app itself. Trying to view the previous photographs or the previous videos, it just cannot do it. It crashes the application. This is the latest application, as I said. This is the Android version. This is on an Android 9 device. Here's showing the latest firmware versions are installed, and they're all successfully installed. There's no zeroed out or red indications suggesting there was an incomplete firmware update. Here I'm trying to format the SD card. It says formatted successfully, although the photo image thumbnail still remains on the screen there. When I try to tap that, or I take another photo, I guess, and if I try to tap and view it, it crashes the app again. So this is persistent. This is not correct behavior. So this is an additional complaint that I'm, I guess, adding to the to the list. But I'm still just want to get a functional drone here if possible. So Autel, if you're listening or watching, yeah, please reach out. Well, or respond to the warranty claim when you get a chance. Yeah, so I've just basically turned the drone off at this point. The video's done.